Desire is a game of power. Some men try to impress, others try to please, and all of them are forgotten. The man who makes a woman sexually obsessed is the one who refuses to be predictable. He plays with tension the way a predator plays with its prey. Slow, deliberate, impossible to escape. He doesn't chase approval. He creates hunger. He doesn't ask for attention. He commands it. In this silent battlefield between her reason and her body, he becomes the force she cannot resist, the fire she both fears and secretly longs to burn in forever. Number 1. Building mystery and personal allure. A woman does not obsess over what she fully understands. She obsesses over what she cannot completely grasp. Mystery is the oxygen of desire. The more predictable you are, the faster the flame dies. The more enigmatic you remain, the deeper her mind sinks into you. What makes a man unforgettable is not the things he openly shows, but the things he carefully withholds. Every unanswered question, every subtle silence, every half smile that hides more than it reveals. All of these become hooks that pull her back into your orbit long after you've left the room. Think about it. When a man explains himself too much, when he tries too hard to be understood, he kills curiosity. But when he speaks less than he knows, when he leaves pieces of himself unspoken, he becomes a puzzle. And women, driven by instinct and psychology, cannot resist the urge to solve a puzzle. It's not manipulation, it's human nature. The mind craves what it cannot decode. Mystery does not mean being distant or cold. It means being selective. You choose what to reveal, and you choose what to conceal. You let her taste the surface, but never the depths. When she thinks she's close to figuring you out, you shift just slightly, forcing her to chase again. This dance between revelation and concealment creates tension more intoxicating than physical touch. She begins to replay your words, analyze your expressions, and wonder what you are doing when you are not around. And in that wondering, obsession is born. Your lifestyle is also part of the mystery. A man who is too available, too easy to read, too centered on her, loses value instantly. But a man who has a world of his own, a purpose, passions, and pursuits beyond her, becomes magnetic. She sees you moving forward with or without her, and that independence triggers a paradox inside her: the fear of losing you and the hunger to claim you. Mystery is not simply silence. It is motion that cannot be fully tracked. Above all, remember that mystery is power. The less she knows, the more she imagines. And imagination is always stronger than reality. When she starts filling in the blanks of who you are, she paints you larger than life. That's how legends are made in her mind, through controlled shadows, not through reckless exposure. The man who can master this balance will not only attract her, but invade her thoughts, making her wonder, ache, and return, again and again. Number 2, creating attraction through body language. Words may reach her ears, but body language pierces directly into her subconscious. Long before she analyzes what you say, her instincts are already judging how you move, how you stand, and how you touch. This is why true sexual magnetism cannot be faked. It is not a rehearsed script. It is the silent rhythm of presence. A man who masters his body sends signals more powerful than any clever line. He becomes the message itself. Your eyes are the first weapon. Most men look without seeing. They let their gaze wander nervously, afraid of holding contact for too long. But the man who locks his eyes with hers, who lets silence carry the intensity of his stare, creates an unspoken current that unsettles her defenses. It is not about staring like a predator, but about looking as if you know something she does not. That subtle glint of knowledge, that half-hidden smile in your eyes, plants a seed of curiosity that grows into desire. Touch is the second weapon, but only when used sparingly. A light brush of your hand on her arm, the accidental graze of your fingers as you hand her something. These are not meaningless gestures. They are sparks, but sparks only ignite when rare. If you flood her with constant touching, the magic evaporates. If you ration it, let her wait for the next moment. Her skin begins to anticipate your presence even before you arrive. Anticipation is the essence of obsession. Posture is the third language. A man who slouches, fidgets, or shrinks communicates insecurity louder than any words. A man who stands tall, relaxed, yet grounded, radiates control. He does not need to announce his confidence. His body announces it for him. When he leans back in his chair with composure, when he walks into a room as though he already belongs, women sense it immediately. Confidence is contagious. It makes her heart race before you even speak. And then there is the pause, the mastery of silence and movement. Most men rush. They speak too fast, move too quickly, and reveal their nervous energy. But the man who pauses, who slows his gestures as if time bends around him, commands attention. Slowness signals certainty. It tells her you are not desperate to be seen, because you already know you are being watched. Body language is the music of attraction. Each look, each touch, each pause is a note. Alone, they may seem small. Together, they compose the symphony of desire. Master this silent language, and you do not need to beg for her attention. Her body will already be leaning towards you, hungry to hear what the next note will be. Number 3, stirring emotions. Instead of only chasing. Physical desire. Desire alone is fleeting. Emotion is what chains her to you. A woman may be drawn to your looks, to the curve of your body, or the timbre of your voice. But obsession is born when you reach deeper, when you awaken the invisible currents beneath her skin. The man who makes her laugh, who unsettles her with a sudden silence, who paints pictures in her mind with nothing more than words. This man owns more than her body. He owns her imagination. Most men fail here because they think attraction is purely physical. They rush to touch, to kiss, to strip away layers, forgetting that the most powerful erogenous zone is not the skin, but the mind. When you know how to use your words like fingertips, when your tone rises and falls like a caress, when your pauses suggest meanings more dangerous than the words themselves, you slip past her defenses. She starts to feel without understanding why, and the not knowing makes the sensation even stronger. Emotion is a spectrum, and the key is not to give her only sweetness. Sweetness alone numbs. The art lies in contrast. One moment you make her laugh, the next you leave her guessing. One moment you're the warmth she leans into, the next you become the storm that shakes her balance. In this push and pull, she feels alive. You awaken in her not just desire but drama, suspense, thrill. Women do not obsess over comfort. They obsess over intensity. Even the smallest gestures carry weight when they stir emotion. A whispered compliment, delivered at the exact moment she doubts herself, can pierce her heart. A sudden withdrawal, leaving her with unfinished tension, can ignite her longing. The point is not cruelty, but orchestration. You are composing an emotional journey she cannot step away from. When emotion is stirred, the physical follows naturally. Her body responds to the script her heart is already reading. And when she cannot predict your next move, when she swings between laughter yearning, and silence, she begins to crave you not only as a lover, but as the author of her inner world. That is the seed of obsession. When she feels that without you, her emotions fall silent, and with you, they explode into colors she never knew existed. Number 4. Mastering sexual tension. Sexual tension is the invisible battlefield where desire is tested and intensified. It is not about rushing to touch, to kiss, or to claim. It is about building a storm inside her that has no immediate release. Tension is the art of almost, of bringing her close enough to feel the fire but never close enough to extinguish it. A woman does not obsess over what she has already consumed. She obsesses over what she is still hungry for. The mistake most men make is moving too quickly. They confuse urgency with passion, forgetting that passion lives in anticipation. A kiss delivered too soon is forgotten, but a kiss delayed until she burns for it is unforgettable. Obsession thrives in the gap between what she wants and what she is denied. That gap is where her imagination grows wild, filling every silence with fantasies of what might come next. Mastering sexual tension requires control. Control over your impulses, control over her rhythm, control over the atmosphere itself. It means leaning in as though you will kiss her, only to pause at the last moment and smile. It means letting your touch hover just above her skin so that her nerves ignite without contact. It means knowing when to walk away at the peak of her excitement, leaving her body aching for closure. These moments, carefully orchestrated, turn desire into obsession because they plant unfinished stories in her mind. And the human mind cannot let unfinished stories go. Sexual tension is not only physical, it is psychological. The way you lower your voice, the way you slow your pace, the way you interrupt her expectation, all of this builds pressure. She is not just waiting for you to touch her. She is waiting for you to release the energy you've trapped inside her. Every second of delay makes her more restless, more consumed, more drawn into your orbit. The beauty of tension is that it transforms you from a man who seeks pleasure into a man who commands it. You are no longer a participant. You are the architect of desire. And when she realizes that her own longing is at the mercy of your timing, her obsession deepens. She does not just want to be with you. She needs you to resolve the fire you've ignited. This is the paradox of tension. By giving less, you make her crave more. By holding back, you guarantee she will never let go. Number 5. Affirming your value and independence. Obsession is not born from a man who orbits a woman. It is born from the man who orbits his own purpose. A woman cannot become addicted to someone who makes her the center of his universe, because what is easily won is rarely valued. She becomes obsessed with the man who stands firmly in his own world, who does not need her validation to breathe, who radiates a sense of self-worth so strong that she feels privileged just to be near him. This is the paradox of attraction. The more you chase her, the more she runs. The more you stand tall, the more she leans in. Dependence is repulsive, but independence is magnetic. When you demonstrate through your actions, not words, that you have a mission, passions, and ambitions beyond her, you ignite both her respect and her desire. You become the man who could walk away at any moment, and precisely because of that, she cannot imagine letting you go. Your value is not something you ask her to recognize. It is something you embody. It is in the discipline you hold over your life, the standards you refuse to lower, the boundaries you enforce with calm authority. When she tests you, you do not crumble. When she withdraws, you do not beg. Instead, you remain unmoved, grounded like a mountain. And mountains are what people climb, fear, and revere. Independence also fuels scarcity. and scarcity fuels obsession. A man who is constantly available becomes predictable, but a man whose time is precious becomes irresistible. When she sees you prioritizing your growth, your work, your passions, she understands that access to you is earned, not guaranteed, and what is earned is treasured. Above all, affirming your value means you are never negotiating for her attention. You are not auditioning for her approval. You are inviting her into a reality that already has meaning without her. This shift in dynamic changes everything. She stops asking, "Do I want him?" and begins to ask, "Does he want me enough to let me stay?" That reversal is the seed of obsession, because nothing is more consuming than the fear of losing something rare. The man who lives by his own compass, who does not bend his life for approval, becomes more than a lover. He becomes a force. And forces are not chosen. They are surrendered to. Number 6. Feeding her competitive instinct. Obsession often awakens not in comfort, but in conflict. Specifically, the conflict of competition. A woman values most the man who is not easily hers, the one whose attention others secretly desire. Deep within every woman lies an instinct older than civilization, the drive to compete for the prize that others want. When you learn to activate that instinct, you transform yourself from a choice into a conquest. And conquests are not forgotten. This does not mean parading women around you or playing childish games of jealousy. It means radiating qualities that naturally draw attention: confidence, presence, charm, and allowing her to notice that others notice. When she sees another woman's eyes linger on you, when she feels that your energy commands admiration beyond her, she cannot help but measure herself against them. Even if she tells herself she does not care, her instincts betray her. The fear of losing something valuable fuels the fire of wanting it even more. Competition creates urgency. If she feels you are available forever, she relaxes. If she senses you could be taken, she fights. The fight is where obsession begins. Every time she invests energy into securing you, dressing to impress, holding your gaze longer, demanding more of your time, she deepens her own attachment. Psychology is simple. People value more what they work to keep. But there is a balance. Too much provocation, and you appear manipulative. Too little, and she feels safe. The art lies in subtlety. A passing interaction with another woman, a compliment you receive in her presence, the way others lean into your charisma. All these feed her competitive instinct without you ever needing to stage it. You never flaunt. You simply allow reality to reveal your worth. What results is a paradox. She is not only drawn to you for who you are, but also for who you are in the eyes of others. She begins to compete not just with other women, but with herself, striving to be the one who matters most to you. And in that silent battle, she invests more and more of her energy, until winning your full attention feels like survival. That is the seed of obsession. When she believes losing you means losing the game she cannot afford to lose. Desire is never static. It is alive, breathing, and shifting with every glance, every silence, every unspoken thought. The true art lies not in possession, but in creation. Creating moments that linger, tensions that burn, and connections that refuse to fade. When a woman cannot explain why her mind circles back to you, when she feels your presence in your absence, when she tastes obsession in the quiet of her own thoughts, that is when you have stepped beyond attraction and into power. This is not about tricks, but about mastery of self, of energy, of presence. To walk this path is to understand that influence is silent, and the most powerful bonds are forged not in words, but in the spaces between them. That is where desire grows wild and uncontainable. If this journey speaks to you, let your voice be heard. Share your thoughts in the comments. Give this a like if it sparked something in you, and pass it along to those who need to hear it. And if you want more insights into the hidden psychology of desire and power, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because this is only the beginning.